Welcome back to Savvy Seniors. Today, we're talking to the lovely ladies of Corelife Wellness, and now we're going to talk to Britt, and she is the Director of Wellness, and we're also going to talk to Priyanka. She's the pelvic floor physiotherapist. So, Britt, tell me about the technology offered at Corelife Wellness.
Yeah, I mean, super innovative, obviously. It's really exciting, like, that we can kind of pair the physiotherapy with the state-of-the-art technology that we have. So we have the Emsella chair, and we also have M-Sculpt. So they use the same type of technology. They both use something called HIFEM. So it's a form of electromagnetic stimulation, but you're just kind of targeting different muscles. So M-Sculpt targets abdominal wall, can also target glutes, and then Emsella is a chair, totally non-invasive that you sit on, and it targets pelvic floor.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That sounds exciting. Can I get one of those for my house?
Yeah, seriously.
Seriously, what does it actually do?
Yeah, so really, like, when it comes down to it, what it's doing is it's using that energy to produce a super maximal contraction. So it's just a fancy way of saying a much longer, stronger, more intense contraction than someone could do on their own through regular exercise. So like M-Sculpt, for example, they say one session, which is 30 minutes, is equivalent to doing 22,000 crunches. So yeah, quite a big benefit. And then Emsella's over 11,000 Kegels is the strengthening benefit that you get. So I don't know if you've ever done a Kegel before, but it is not that easy.
I got to tell you, I hate doing Kegels.
Yeah.
Every time the fitness instructor says to do a Kegel, I'll stand there with my eyes like this, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. So, Priyanka, what are these treatments? How do they help people, and is it all women?
Yeah, so let's come to that first, because I think a lot of people think that pelvic floor disorders happen mostly in women, but that's absolutely not true. Men need these treatments as much as women do. Men especially who are having concerns with prostate issues or have had a surgery of the prostate, this is a really good way of targeting the pelvic floor muscles for them so that they aren't having issues of slow urination or like a stop and go sort of urination, or some might be leaking quite a bit post the operation as well. Okay. So they don't have to live with diapers on, like they don't have to be using those pads. So, and I find that sometimes it's harder for men to seek help for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So absolutely, men can absolutely gain a lot from pelvic floor physiotherapy as well as the Emsella therapy. When we're thinking broadly, what we use the Emsella therapy for and pelvic floor would be for any dysfunction from the pelvic floor. Sometimes our muscles in the pelvic floor are too tight. So if you don't mind, I'll just grab the pelvic floor model to explain to you.
I was wondering who our little friend was. Yes. and what our little friend is, because do I have one of those inside of me?
Right here.
Okay.
Right. So this is our pelvic model. That's the pubic joint in the front. All of is the low back space and the tailbone, and these are our hip bones. So if you say hands or the waist or the hip, this right. is the bone that will sit on where we wear our belt almost, right? So if you see in there, it's a big chunk of muscle. Mm-hmm. It starts from behind the pubic joint going all the way back to the tailbone and attaches to the inner parts of the hip bones. Okay. And that's the deepest layer, almost like a big hammock or a sling. And all our organs are arranged on the inside. So the bladder sits on this area. In women, then we have the uterus and the vaginal space in there, and then the rectum. Okay. And these are the more superficial tiny muscles that are going around the openings. Okay. So when we have dysfunction in the pelvic floor, for women that could be happening mostly postpartum, mm-hmm. and also a big part of it could happen postmenopausal. Sometimes when we think of dysfunction, we're always thinking the muscles are going weak or the muscles are becoming really thin. But it could be that your muscles are either too tight, so high tone, or the muscles could be weaker. And that can lead to the muscles not working well to support where our organs should be. So the within the vaginal space, we want it to stay patent, but the bladder could be pushing down there, and that's a bladder prolapse. And sometimes the rectum pushes up, and that's a rectal prolapse.
Okay.
Sometimes the uterus is moving down within the vaginal space, and that's a uterine prolapse. So one of those times when a prolapse is happening, it's a really good way through pelvic floor physiotherapy to correct that. So we might give somebody strengthening exercises. So like, Brittany was talking about the Kegels, they could do that. The great thing about Corelife is that we have the options. Like, we want to lay out the options that are available to you. If you're someone who wants to work actively on your muscles, then I'm there to teach you those exercises, how to use those exercises in your functional life when you carry something heavy or something like that. But if you're the kind who are like, I've done enough Kegels and I haven't seen benefit, or I really just want to boost, and I would love...
Or you're lazy.
Yes. If you don't enjoy them, right?
Right.
And it could be like, it's hard to admit sometimes, like you just don't want to do them.
Yeah, no,
and
I
it's
don't like
fine.
them. I'll admit it, I don't
Yes.
like them.
Yeah.
So that's when we have the other option for them, right? There is this great technology, and why not use it? When we use it for those that it's indicated for, we see really good success. And sometimes it's that their muscles are too tight or there are other issues going on. So we work together in the physiotherapy sessions to correct that first. And if strengthening is still needed, then again, they have the options. Another thing apart from prolapse would be incontinence, when there is leaking of urine. Sometimes you leak urine as you're struggling to go to the washroom. So you might leak on the way there.
Or you sneeze or you laugh.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, right? Like the giggle incontinence that we call it. Like if with any of those, or you leak with exercise.
Right.
Or like jumping and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's another time that we could, again, just do a gentle assessment. So when it comes to pelvic physio, we do just a gentle check on your muscles. It's not like a pap test at all. It's really... And if somebody doesn't really want it, then we wouldn't do it. There are non-invasive ways of treatment and assessment as well. So those would be the two biggest that we look at. That's incontinence as well as prolapse.
Okay. Common misconceptions, one of them. Is it expensive? Is it very expensive to do this?
So I like to think of it as an investment in your health, right? Like,
absolutely.
It's an investment, absolutely. But I mean, even in terms of the results and the benefit that you get, like, women spend almost $2,000 a year just on pads. So you can imagine that adds up over time, right?
And this could eliminate the need for that.
Exactly. So
and how much better would you feel about yourself too if you didn't have to do that?
Exactly. So you're getting to the root of the issue, and you're also increasing like the confidence. Who wants to be wearing pads all the time? Like, of course, nobody, and nobody has to. And I think that's like such a big misconception, is it's just a part of aging, and it definitely is not.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get in to see a specialist?
So if you're talking about like having these concerns, like, and you've spoken to your family doctor and they've put in a referral, it's sad to say, but right now the wait times are really long.
Yeah.
And it's disheartening. Like, you are really wanting answers and you want to do something about it. And this is stuff that affects your quality of life, but it's months right now to see a specialist. So sometimes it's really great, those who answer the calls at the specialist will tell them to start pelvic floor physiotherapy depending on what they call for. So we are seeing that, which is really great. In the interim, meanwhile, as they wait, they could start pelvic floor physiotherapy.
Okay.
Or sometimes the family doctor also tells them to start with pelvic floor physiotherapy. And what's good about that is most of the times these specialists, urogynecologist or urologist or a gynecologist, would like you to start conservative management before they think of surgical options.
Okay. And I can talk to you in person about my woohoo. I don't have to be talking to you over Zoom, right?
No, that absolutely. We'd love to. That's what we like to do at Corelife, is to have you in. And it is, as much as it is the treatments are there, but then it's really personalized.
Perfect.
To you.
Thank you. Yeah. We are going to be right back after the break with more great information and a client of Corelife Wellness to tell us how this has changed her life. Don't go away.